What is up, Sooner Nation? I am Casey Mellon, and you are now, come on, get with me. Yeah. In a Sooner state of mind, make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Amazon Music. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. Sooner state of mind, family, what is good? Sometimes we live no particular way but our own. Sometimes we visit your country and live in your home. Sometimes we ride on your horses. Sometimes we walk alone. Sometimes the songs that we hear are just songs of our own. And we got lots of songs on the show today, baby. Our Sooners found out who and where they are playing in their bowl game. The Sooners also found out who and where they are playing in 2025. Well, we already knew who they were playing. We just didn't know when. We will take a quick look at OU's 2025 schedule. The 12-team college football playoff is set. As to be expected, there was a little controversy. We'll dust some of that up. The Heisman Trophy finalists are set. Someone's going to walk with the hardware this weekend. And the transfer portal has opened, and it's got Sooner Nation feeling all kinds of ways. Lots of our brethren are working through some big feelings, and that's okay. Big feelings are okay. We are going to help get you through them. But I guess the best place to start is with the Sooners bowl game. On December 27th, our Oklahoma Sooners will make their 58th bowl appearance and a school record 26th in a row. Our Sooners face Navy in the 22nd Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl on Friday, December 27th in Fort Worth, Texas, on the campus of TCU. We're still not sure who will be opting out or who will be left on the roster for our Sooners, but we will dive deeper into that matchup as the game gets a little closer. The Navy midshipmen have one more game coming up this weekend against Army, one of my favorite games of the year, one of the most prestigious college football games with some of the biggest tradition. It's kind of cool to watch. Both teams break out the sweet uniforms. It's going to be rocking. Give the Sooner Nation a chance to do a little recon on the Navy midshipmen, if you will. And as of now, BetOnline has our Sooners as 8.5-point favorites for the Armed Forces Bowl. But like I said, much more on that later. The game is still a couple weeks away. Transfer portal wide open, baby. And we knew this guy was on it last week. We just didn't know he was going to have so much company. So we'll get to it. Jackson Arnold. He announced his intention last week. He made it so this week. And just a total bummer. Gatorade High School Player of the Year. 5-star recruit, was supposed to be the next guy in a long line of great OU quarterbacks. And that just wasn't the case. Lots of stuff went wrong with the season, obviously. The injuries up front to the O-linemen, the injuries to the wide receivers. And even without all that, I'm not sure how this season would have gone for JFA. I'm sure it would have been much better than it was, but Too many turnovers, man, when he was out there. And part of the season looked like he wasn't having fun. Got sat down for a few games, came back, and dude laid it on the line for this squad, man. Dude didn't quit, kept his head down, did everything the right way. And just sometimes life happens, and it's unfortunate for OU, and it's unfortunate for Jackson Arnold. Almost 2,000 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 INTs, throwing a couple fumbles. And, maybe a fresh start will do wonders for him, hopefully. No ill will, unless he goes to a hated school, which I don't think he would do. But there's talk that he's going to go see Auburn, and Mississippi State makes a lot of sense too. So hoping for the best for him. Like I said, just a total bummer that it didn't work out with all the injuries and the uncertainty at offensive line and the receiver position, and losing Drake Stoops. I think we needed a quarterback just with more experience to try to navigate that situation this year. It was asking a lot of a young quarterback with no starts under his belt, or one start with the bowl game last year. So, yeah, just a bummer. It happens. It's the new way of college football. So get used to seeing this happen more and more often, but a total bummer. But we're hoping for the best for JFA moving forward. This one I did not see coming, and it is a total bummer as well. Nick Anderson, as a freshman in 2023, had almost 800 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns, including the game winner against those dirty Beavos at the Cotton Bowl last year. Nick was hurt in the offseason, had the hamstring, came back, only played a handful of plays, went out with that same injury again. And that was the last we saw him all season. They shut him down. And with this move, we're hearing a lot of talk, a lot of speculation that there was something running awry with this training staff. With every story, there's 3 sides, and you just don't know what's what. And I'm not sure we're ever going to know. But this is a total bummer. Nick Anderson being a legacy. Seemed like OU was a perfect fit for him. For whatever reason, he's fallen out of trust, or I should say the training staff is falling out of trust with this guy. He's entering the portal. Yeah, just a total bummer to see Nick go. Maybe it can be repaired before he gets out of here. I don't know. And I don't know where the truth is on the training staff matters. I guess we'll find out as we get closer to next season and see if anything happens, people are moved out, or what's going on with it. But it sounds like a mess. The optics of it are not good, even if they are false. But a bummer to see Nick Anderson go. He's going to be awesome no matter where he lands. Bauer Sharp had huge expectations for this cat when he came in, and he just did not live up to them. Now, he was the Sooners' leading receiver, but only 324 yards. That is not enough to get it done. 2 touchdowns, not enough to get it done. And it seemed like this cat just had too many negative plays, and the barrage of hate that spewed down on this guy on Twitter, in social media, whatever it was. It's not a surprise that this guy said, you know what, I am getting the F out of here. Totally disappointed in this guy's play. I know he did some good stuff, but the blocking game never looked strong, had some huge drops, some critical mistakes. So it is what it is. I don't know if he could have lived up to the hype, but he didn't. So he's going to get a fresh start somewhere else. Jaquez Petaway. This dude showed flashes really fast, but as bad as it was at wide receiver, this dude could not get on the field, and you got to wonder why. When you're top 5 or 6 down, you would think a guy like him could have stepped up and taken advantage of that, but for whatever reason, that did not happen. So this is not too surprising. Maybe he was lost in the mix. I'm not sure, but definitely has the quicks, man. I was looking forward to seeing what he evolved into, but it will be somewhere else. Speaking of Barry, dude, Caleb Hicks looked like this cat was also going to have a good career at OU. The running back could not get on the field. He looked the part, but nothing. Even when Barnes and Sawchuk were banged up, it was never Hicks. I don't know if it was a pass protection thing or what it was, but not a lot of opportunities there, and you don't know why. More running backs lost. Amika Megwa, he's going. Chapman McCown, he's going as well. Few linemen going. Joshua Bates, I didn't see that one coming, although Pops had some scraps in the Twitter sphere. So maybe that just poisoned what was going on. Bates got a lot of eligibility left. He'll get a new start. Gearin Hatchett, he's leaving as well. Jaden Rowe, defensive back, he's gone. And then Jalil Farouk, man, this cat got hurt and then came back for a little bit. Don't know if he re-injured it. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he's moving on too, which is a little bit of a disappointment. Thought he could come back and hone his skills. The first guy never got this guy tackled, and that's what I really liked about him. It seemed like sometimes, though, he could mentally, if it didn't go his way, he could fall out of the game plan and just lose it. So that's something he can work on and try to elevate his game, but it won't be at OU. Andrell Anthony missed the entire season. He's leaving too in the portal, and he's posting these videos on social media that he's feeling better than ever. I don't know what's going on with that. Lots of weirdness surrounding these wide receivers, and people want to talk about the training staff too, but the majority of these injuries were all on the offensive side of the ball. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around OU not having a world-class training staff. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But like I said, I don't know if we're ever going to get to the bottom of what really went on there. But rosters are getting cut down too, from the 140 down to 105. So a lot of these cats are going to get into the portal and they're not going to find new homes. And when you're an injured player going in, that might make it even trickier. But it's all about the paydays these days. Cats just want to make that cash. I don't think winning a natty is as important to a lot of these guys as it once was. You come to Oklahoma, you'll have an opportunity to do that. Still a ton of talent on this squad. They're going to get players out of the portal too. They do have some offers out there, but we don't need to speculate on any of that crap until we know who's who. So we're just going to cool our jets for now until we get confirmation, and then we can get into the who's who of that business. But it's tricky, man. You got to proceed into the portal with caution. But overall, college football needs to do something about this, especially with these cats grabbing these huge NIL deals and then bouncing. We got to get some ROI on that stuff. And I think boosters and people contributing these collectives are going to want some ROI as well. So the landscape is changing. The way football is done is changing. And it is going to be more of a pro style situation in these next few years. And speaking of pro style situations, Bill Belichick is the new head coach at the University of North Carolina. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Total trip. It's going to be 5 years. He's bringing in a pro style to his approach there. It's going to be very fascinating to see how this works out. North Carolina, obviously a basketball school, got the Jordan brand. Kids like that. But when Bill flashes those 6 Super Bowl rings, that's going to get recruits' attention. And when he's lining up his program to get these kids into the NFL, that is going to get their attention too. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see how this thing works. I wouldn't think a guy like the Hoodie would want to deal with all the NIL and the constant recruiting, but maybe he's going to bring guys in to do that for him. But this NFL approach, I think, is how it's going to be done in the future. And you see Oklahoma trying to take an NFL model as well. They're structuring They're programmed that way too. So lots of changes, man. This is just the precipice of the changes in college football that we're going to see in the next few years, man. NIL is still the wild, wild west, and they got to get it reined in to have some equality on how that money's going to be distributed and what kind of commitments these kids need to make when they take some of that money. Are we working towards contract? Are we working towards a player association? We're going to find out, but it is changing. But baby, the eyeballs will be on the North Carolina Tar Heels in 2025. That is for certain. Speaking of 2025, the SEC released its football schedule for the 2025 season. We knew the Sooners had a brutal one this year. And of course, it is another brutal schedule for 2025, but it does actually feel a little bit better than the 2024 varietal. So I like that Friday night game to open the season, and maybe we can get that again August 30th or 31st. It's Illinois State at Oklahoma. Oh, baby. And then September 6th, until the end of the year, it's the reigning national champion, Michigan Wolverines at Oklahoma. Oh, baby. I wish we could have caught those stupid guys this year. Well, maybe not because we weren't that great, but they were on a down year, but they're going to pick it up next year. That is going to be epic, man. That is some old school powerhouse blue blood programs. And then the following year, the Sooners will go to Michigan. That might constitute a little roadie up to Ann Arbor, a little trip to the big house. I'm looking forward to it. Week 3, September 13th, OU at Temple. That was a little tighter than we wanted it this year. And then week 4, September 20th, Auburn is coming to town. Following week, week 5, Sooners will be on a bye. And then the gimme game, hopefully it's a gimme, is week 6. Usually we get this later in the season, but we'll take it. It's Kent State at our Sooners, followed by week 7, October 11th, against the hated ones in Dallas, OU Texas, 2 S's. The following week, take a trip to South Carolina, try to extract that revenge on Shane Beamer's Cox. That's October 18th. Oh, October 25th, Ole Miss, the SIP's going to take a trip to Normantown, baby. Maybe we can extract some revenge on those guys too. The following week, November 1st, OU at Tennessee. We get a bye week after that. And then our final 3 games, baby. Are you kidding me? OU at Alabama, November 15th. Missouri at OU, November 22nd. And then on the 29th, LSU at Oklahoma. We wanted the smoke, but that's a lot of smoke. Got to improve on what we did this year. Absolutely have to, but it does not get any easier, man. Ooh, that is going to be tricky, but hey, you will have earned whatever you got at the end of that thing. So overall, it's going to be good. And, you know, you want to play in big time games. You want to play in nationally televised games. You're coming to OU to get it. They will definitely be some eyeballs on all of these, and I am looking forward to it. And that's going to sneak up on us before you know it. 12-team college football playoff is finally set. There was some speculation last week on who would get in and who would not. SMU and Clemson in the ACC championship looked like it was going to be a dud, and then SMU came to life, got that thing tied up. Unfortunately, a poor kick coverage and then a 56-yard field goal sent Clemson to the title, ACC champs, guaranteeing them a berth in the playoff. So there was some speculation as if that would knock SMU out of the playoffs, but the committee said, you know, you couldn't be punished for that, losing a conference championship game, and they stuck to the word and SMU definitely made it in. So if I'm thinking, oh, who didn't make it in? Oh, yeah, Alabama. Sooners put the nail in that Bama coffin. Sorry, Tide. Not sorry. 3 losses, too many. You're gonzo, baby. You can't cry when you lose 3 games. I know the competition is stiffer in the SEC, but win your games, and that doesn't happen. So Clemson gets in as the 12th seed. They're going to take a trip to Austin to play the hated ones. Lots of disgusting orange in that game, but you know Sooner Nation will be pulling for the Tigers in that one. Arizona State kicked the ever-living crap out of Iowa State to take the Big 12 title. That got them into a first-round bye. I think well deserved, man. Arizona State is playing some damn good football. I can't wait to see more of it. They will take on the winner of Clemson and Texas. Another first-round banger. We're talking Tennessee at Ohio State, man. It's getting hot on the Ryan Day coaching seat, man. They hate him up there. He's done pretty good. He just hasn't gotten over the top. A couple years ago, CJ Stroud looked like they were going to get it done. Came close, missed field goal. They're going to have to play a Vols team. Heupel's Vols have not been that great on the road. It's going to be cold in the shoe. Can Tennessee get it done? I will be pulling for the Vols and Hype, but that is going to be a tricky place to play, and the winner gets a date with number 1 undefeated Oregon, who snuck past Penn State in the Big Ten championship. That second round matchup will be at the Rose Bowl, baby. So either Tennessee or Ohio State against Oregon on January 1st. Then we talked about SMU. They didn't fall out, thank goodness, because they deserve to be in there, man. Until they adjust schedules and make all these teams play bigger schools at the beginning of the season, you can't punish them for losing the championship, especially the way they did it. That was a fun game. They came to life. This is an exciting team. They're going to have to go play at Penn State. And Penn State actually had their best game of the season, I thought, against Oregon in the Big Ten championship. Just wasn't enough. Oregon ended up pulling away. The consolation prize, Penn State gets to host the playoff game on campus. That is going to be rocking 110,000 large, baby, rooting against them ponies. But you know I am pulling for them Dallas boys. So hopefully they can win. And whoever wins that game is going to the Fiesta Bowl to take on Boise State. Boise State handled UNLV. Ashton Genty continues to do his thing, and the Fiesta Bowl will kind of be a home game for Boise. They've had a couple big wins there. Shut up. I don't want to talk about one of them that I was in the house for. You know what? But that is going to be an exciting game that will go down on New Year's Eve when they take on the winner of SMU and Penn State. And then it's a battle for Indiana. We're talking the SIG Pack of Indiana going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I think, should have been the 5 seed when this was said and done. They had the weird Northern Illinois inexplicable loss early on, but they continued to play better football as the season went on. They're hosting Indiana. I'm still not sure what I think about Indiana. And the only big game they played, they lost. So this will be an interesting matchup. It's going to be rocking there in front of touchdown Jesus doing his thing, rooting for his Domers there. And the winner of that game moves on to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl on the 1st. And how did Georgia get that first round bye? Oh, yeah, by beating Texas. Oh, in the SEC championship. Not just beating them, a heartbreaking overtime loss with their backup quarterback. Texas played 2 good teams on the season. It was Georgia, and they lost both of them. I don't know that warrants a 5 seed. They couldn't even beat Georgia with Georgia's backup quarterback, okay? So we need to figure out a way to seed these teams a little bit better. This is the first year. This is much better than anything in years past, so I will take it. I am not complaining. But there can still be a little work to be done on this thing, and I didn't mention at the top, Arizona taking on the winner of Clemson and Texas. That is in the Peach Bowl. That's a tricky game for Arizona, especially if Clemson gets in. South Carolina right up the street from the Peach Bowl. Texas will travel big no matter what. But Arizona State, dude, West Coast vibe, getting punished, going all the way out to Georgia. So I don't know if there was a better place. Maybe you could have had them at the Fiesta Bowl. That's not doing Boise State any favors, but maybe you move Boise to the Sugar Bowl and then move Georgia to the Peach Bowl. Whatever. Who cares? People will go to these games. It is going to be completely awesome. And I am completely stoked for it, people. And then the following games after that second round matchup will be on the week of the 9th and 10th. And then the championship coming to you January 20th down the road. So it is going to be awesome. But before we get to all that, we have the Heisman Trophy ceremony coming up this weekend. Got Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, DG, Dylan Gabriel, and Cam Ward will be in attendance. It sounds like it is between Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty as to who will take it. Finally, a year quarterback is not going to get this thing. And you look what both of these guys done, and you could argue for each of them. Ashton Genty, 344 carries for 2,497 yards. That's 7.3 per carry, 29 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. That's over 190 yards a game. And Genty, not one single game with fewer than 125 rush yards on the season. Since 2014, his rushing grade 97.8. That's better than Blake Corum had last year. Yards after contact, 1,882. That is absolutely insane. That's the most since Jonathan Taylor had over 1,300 in 2017. Forced missed tackles, 135 of those bad boys. Bijan Robinson had 104 in 2022. So this is a prolific season for Genty. Absolutely incredible what this guy is doing. So it's going to be hard to justify him not getting it. Yeah, but it feels like it is Travis Hunter's award, and you get why. On offense alone, 92 receptions, 1,152 yards, 12 and a half per catch, 14 receiving touchdowns. That led to Power 4, 1 rushing touchdown. Second and fifth in the FBS for receiving yards per game and receptions per game. And then you throw him on defense, 31 tackles, 11 PBUs, 4 interceptions, only allowed 22 receptions on 39 targets with just 6 first downs and 1 touchdown all year. He was 8th in the Power 4 passes defended and interceptions. So, I mean, I guess you can't go wrong to either of those dudes. DG put up tremendous numbers this season as well, had a great year. Obviously, a soft spot for dime time, but I don't think any of the quarterbacks, are going to make it. Shedeur didn't even get invited. Cam Ward had a great season too. For Shedeur and Cam Ward, their consolation prize will be going 1 and 2 in the next year's draft. Travis Hunter will not be far behind them, and Ashton Genty probably a first-round pick as well. And not sure where DG ends up going. Hopefully, it's just a good situation that gives him opportunity to grow into a quarterback. But he's doing some awesome stuff this year too. So hopefully, it works out for him. But congratulations to all 4 of those players. 5 if you want to throw Sanders in there. Tremendous seasons, and that goes down on Saturday. So one last college football game. We got Army versus Navy. We do have the FCS playoffs if you're a sicko like I am, which I am. So I'm sure you guys are going to watch some of that too. Got some pretty good NFL games this weekend. We got the Super Bowl preview that everybody wins. We're talking the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Rock City Lions. We also got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend. So those are some great games. If you want more insight on those games, go check out the Football Dudes, the Trend Zone. It's our other podcast, all NFL. We got fantasy, we got survivor pools, we got it all. You do not want to miss it. That is the Trend Zone, and you can find that on YouTube at the Football Guys or the Football Dudes, and as well as Football Dudes LA on Twitter and Instagram. Also, head on over to believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Go to shows, type in Sooner State of Mind, and you are locked. We have a ton of great content, people. No matter who you love, it's every team, every topic, everywhere. Believe.com. And if you want to watch Sooner State of Mind, like I said, head on over to YouTube and search the Football Dudes. We are there. Sooner State of Mind is brought to you by Bet Online. My name is Casey Mallon, and I am in a Sooner State of Mind.